Greetings and salutations, fellow students. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. And so my name is Richard Owen, and I guess to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about myself, or my interests and hobbies and things like that, I am a huge film fanatic. I've loved cinema and movies ever since I was little. I think the first movie that I remember like watching and kind of just being completely blown away by it was Terminator Judgment Day. Terminator 2 technically. But yeah, I don't know, there's just something about it that just, you know, when like the T-1000 like melted and then was like reforming, it just blew my mind how that was possible. And I've always, I guess, had an affinity for film since then. And you know, I went on and I studied filmmaking at Scottsdale Community College. I did that for a while, and then eventually I started working freelance in the local film community here in Arizona. So I've been doing freelance videography work since about 2013. So I do freelance videography and photography and all that sorts of stuff. And yeah, I don't know, I just love everything about movies. I love watching them, I love making them. I think it's just absolutely, you know, I guess it'd be kind of like a kid, you know, seeing a magician for the first time and then just kind of thinking like, well, how did they do that? And, you know, I went on to study that, and now that I have, I mean, I still have moments where I'm like watching things and I'm just completely blown away by what they're able to accomplish through filmmaking. So yeah, I mean, that's a very big hobby of mine. Photography obviously is very closely related to filmmaking and videography, but I also love doing photography and you know, whether it's landscapes or portraits, whatever. I love all forms of photography. Also a pretty big avid gamer. I like to play a lot of different video games, and you know, I mean, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of gotten bigger and bigger too as time's gone on. More and more people have gotten into gaming, and so I definitely use that as a stress release and a pastime. Anything else you'd like to class know about you? I don't know, I mean, I think that's pretty much who I am in a nutshell. Obviously, after I studied, you know, film, I went on to transfer over to ASU, where I'm, you know, started working on my bachelor's in technological entrepreneurship and management, which is of course why I'm in this class right now. What types of ventures am I most interested in working in? Obviously film ventures. The business of film, I think, is very, very fascinating, and it's a huge mega business across all walks of life across the globe. So definitely curious to learn about, you know, more film related things and work in film related ventures. The other ventures that I'm super interested in would be nonprofits. I've done a lot of video work for some local nonprofits here, and it's very rewarding to kind of get to work in those environments and produce content for different nonprofits and stuff like that. And that kind of led me to have a couple of ideas about potentially not only going forward and working for more nonprofits, but also maybe one day kind of starting my own nonprofit up as like a startup thing too. I think that would be super cool. Let's see here. Why? Well, I mean, the reason why is because, you know, I like to help people. I like to be involved in the community and stuff like that. Choose an entrepreneur you admire and tell us why. An entrepreneur that I really admire, I guess, would be this might be a little dated, but Andrew Carnegie. He mostly was like an industrialist that worked in kind of the iron and steel world back in the 1800s, 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s. And he penned an article that was entitled The Gospel of Wealth. And in that article, he stated something to the effect of an industrialist has two stages in his life. And the first stage is to acquire as much wealth as possible. And then the second stage was to basically redistribute that wealth back to the community and enrich the life of fellow community members. Now, he probably, I guess, might have been a little more vain than you would think most philanthropists are, as like pretty much everything has his name on it, like Carnegie Hall, for example. So, but nonetheless, you know, he did a lot to help the community and to help the people in his community out with the amount of wealth that he managed to acquire. I think he sold his company around for around like 400 million or something like that, which in the early 1900s is a astronomical amount of money. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Why am I taking this class? I'm taking this class obviously because I want to learn a lot more about entrepreneurship, and I think that's what this class is going to offer me. I think it's going to offer me some insight and some ideas into entrepreneurship that maybe I hadn't thought of, and hopefully to also kind of start transforming my thought process and the way my mind works into the mind of an entrepreneur, because I feel like an entrepreneur is going to have a very different outlook on business and life and things like that than just your kind of average person that goes to work and clocks in and clocks out at a regular 9 to 5. And so hopefully, you know, I'm going to kind of start getting some of that from this class and kind of start transitioning my thought processes more and more and more into an entrepreneur-based mind. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it though, but thank you all for watching my video, and I look forward to sitting down and watching everyone else's videos. And yeah, thank you for watching.